Lead against Manchester City after a goal scored by Bukayo Saka. Ball played over from the left-hand side. Saka with a very clever finish, guiding the ball past Ederson. That was after a really bright start from Manchester City, albeit bright in terms of the possession and the energy levels. No real chances to speak of other than a missed header from Ruben Diaz with goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale caught in no man's land. So we're expecting a real improvement here from City as they need to get back into the game. They're on the attack now down the right-hand side. Mahrez just been stopped there by Martinelli going back towards the halfway line. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz and John Hogan taking you through the action. And John, City, plenty of endeavour but not much end product in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, they played quite well, didn't they? And looked quite good to start with, and then you just, after about half an hour, you're thinking, well, are they really creating enough opportunities? And Ramsdale didn't have that much to do. They're just a few percentage points down. You can get that this time of year. And it seems a very motivated, Arsenal team who are up against them. They've got nothing to lose, have they? You don't expect to beat Man City, but certainly I would have expected before kick-off that they would have played quite well. Well, they've done a bit better than that, and they've got a goal lead, but they could still end up losing 3-1. That's how good City are. So I'm looking forward to this second half.
Well, we're 90 seconds into the second half, and we may be getting our first yellow card of the afternoon. Strong challenge there from Thomas Partey as Laporte got away from Lacazette. Partey then slides in, doesn't get any of the ball at all, takes down the man. Referee Stuart Atwell came across with a bit of purpose. Not too sure if he has got the card out in the end or not. But Partey, certainly in his defensive midfielder role, it's always going to be a risk that he could get a booking. Looks like he has got a booking. Just to remind you of the two 11s very quickly. No changes. So it's Aaron Ramsdale in goal for Arsenal. A back four of Tahiro Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel Magalhaes and Kieran Tierney. Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka are the two holder midfielders. Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard and Gabriel Martinelli playing as a three behind Alexandre Lacazette. A Man City, Ederson in goal. A back four of João Cancelo, Ruben Diaz, Emerick Laporte and Nathan Ake. Kevin De Bruyne, Rodrigo and Bernardo Silva are the three in midfield with Raheem Sterling, Riyad Mahrez and Gabriel Jesus as the three up front. City chose not to play that ball towards the penalty area from the free kick. They roll it all the way back now to Ederson, pressing there from Odegaard. But City still in possession. I'm just wondering, John, whether or not Guardiola would have said to his players that, well, whether or not they take more risks or just try and be that little bit more direct. But just as I say that, Arsenal have won the ball back in midfield. Martinelli gets stopped by Laporte, but it's still a chance for Xhaka as he plays it out to Saka now, break it into the box. Sterling is back there to cover, but the ball is laid back to Tomiyasu. Arsenal keep possession. I was going to say it's a good ball from Partey. But Ake was in the right place at the right time to head that one away. But Arsenal pressing as high up the field as they can. They don't want to make it too easy here for Manchester City.
Yeah, it's very difficult to know what Guardiola would have said. I mean, quite simply, it's play better, isn't it? But here come Arsenal again, an opportunity. But Lacazette's ball forward wasn't that great. And Martinelli chopped down there by Rodri, a free kick. But what kind of colour card are we going to see?
Well, certainly the Arsenal players are insisting that they want some sort of card. I mean, the City man is down himself. Looks like he might have hurt himself there, Rodrigo, in the midst of that challenge. It was a strong challenge. The ball looped up in the air and the referee waited to see where it landed before he gave the free kick. But we'll see here as Lacazette gets away, lays that ball in towards Martinelli. And it is a strong challenge from Rodrigo. But that first replay didn't really give us the full sort of impact of the challenge. We'll see now. I suppose he's got a right to go for the ball, but it's the way he slides in.
I think he's unlucky. I think, he slipped. Martinelli meets the ball at roughly the same time, comes out second best. I just think, personally, I think it's one of those things. I'm not even sure that's a free kick. He's given it, and because, the Arsenal player flies up in the air and he's clearly been tagged there, the tendency is to think, it's got to be a card and it's got to be a free kick. I would have let play go on there. It's just the coming together. As it happens, the referee's given a free kick. I understand why he gave that.
It was. I agree with you. I think it's one of those where, because of the nature of the contact, the way in which Rodrigo slid in at full pace and Martinelli sort of almost veered off him, it probably convinced the referee that it was a foul. But after all of that, I mean, there was a real sort of congregation there at the edge of the box. But now Saka has gone over, and it's just going to be a corner kick after all of that. So it's the referee certainly reacted quite angrily when he saw the challenge, but it's just been given as a corner. So after all of that, it's a Xhaka standing over it to whip it in from that right-hand side. It drops to Martinelli, miscued his shot completely. Loose ball at the edge of the area, saved here by Odegaard. Plays it back to Xhaka. His cross back into the penalty area, headed up in the air by Ruben Diaz. And now it's with Gabriel Jesus on the right-hand side. He doesn't mess about, clears that as long as he can down the right-hand side. It stays in play, and Tierney will just calmly nod this one back towards Aaron Ramsdale. But there's a calmness about Arsenal when they're in possession from the start of this second half.
I thought that's a cracking ball in from Xhaka. You know, the delivery he gives there is fairly flat, hard, and he hits it first time. Just didn't give him a chance to settle, does he? And yeah, they've played really well today. I don't think there's too much wrong with what City have done, and they could still come back and win the game. Somehow they need to play better, and this young Arsenal team have really got the bit between their teeth. I think it's perfect what's happened for them. They've grabbed a goal the first half, and it's given them something to hang on to.
Absolutely. It's a cup week for Arsenal after the game today. They're at home to Liverpool in the Carabao Cup before a game away at Nottingham Forest next weekend in the FA Cup. But Lacazette pressing inside the Manchester City penalty area, pressing too much for Stuart Atwell's liking there. It has been given as a free kick to Manchester City. Well, in fact, it's just barely holding on to João Cancelo. It's one of those where if Cancelo had done that to Lacazette, it probably wouldn't be given as a penalty. But City try and play out from the back. Arsenal pressing again. Martinelli just heads that ball out for a throw before it reaches João Cancelo. And we've seen that already this afternoon, that Arsenal really are committed to pressing against the goalkeeper, because they know there's always that chance that one loose ball from Edison could prove to be a very paid dividends for Arsenal. But here they come again now with Lacazette trying to play it square to Saka. Ball gets straight through to Raheem Sterling, and now Gabriel Jesus on the halfway line gets stopped by Tomiyasu. The loose ball finds Raheem Sterling. And he's got two Arsenal players, Ben White and Granit Xhaka, trying to stop him. But Sterling holds on to the ball and goes back towards Rodrigo. Inside now to Kevin De Bruyne. Over towards Cancelo on the right-hand side, as City have four men up here for Cancelo to try and get the ball forward. He finds Riyad Mahrez. Now it's Bernardo Silva, dances away from as Xhaka hits the deck.
Oh, and, you're kidding.
Well, the referee is almost as vigorous as Granit Xhaka in telling Bernardo Silva to get up. But you can tell from my colleague's reaction that he thinks there certainly was something in it, as do all the City players, John.
VAR's going to have to take a look at this, and it will. He's grabbed hold of his shirt there. Whatever we think about that, you cannot do that. Xhaka's trying to stop him with his arm, and then he has hold of his shirt. That's a penalty kick. You cannot do that. You know, we may say that Bernardo's going down. Yes, as soon as he grabbed his shirt, I'd be flinging myself to the floor. You can't defend like that, and that's a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, Xhaka's almost protesting before Bernardo's even hit the deck there, because I think he knows he's got himself in a bit of an awkward position there, the Arsenal man, holding on to Bernardo Silva. I agree, of course, in the literal sense, that isn't enough to bring a grown man down. Of course it's not, but in a football sense, when you're in the box and you're trying to get away from a defender, if he grabs you on the shirt like that, you should expect to get some sort of decision.
Trouble for Xhaka there is he's overcommitted. You know, it's a brilliant cut from Bernardo, so he's going to cut it and eventually fall over his leg because he's left his leg there. Now, I don't know if Granit Xhaka's trying to keep him on his feet by holding his shirt, but either which way, the leg, you shouldn't have to hurdle the leg. Secondly, he's got hold of his shirt for more than a second. Both those things make a penalty.
Yeah, well, it's the VAR officials have now told Stuart Atwell to come across and look at this himself, and that tends to mean that the decision could be reversed. It's not guaranteed, but very rarely does the referee look at the monitor and then decide to stick with his original decision. And so he's drawn the little box with his fingers there, the referee, Stuart Atwell, and I think he has given the penalty, much to the frustration of the Arsenal players. There's going to be a booking here as well for Granit Xhaka. He's trying to say that there wasn't anything in that, but we thought straight away that he was probably just pushing it a bit too much there.
You can't defend like that. You know, you just can't. For a long while, I mean, Xhaka for me is this player where he's in this holding defensive role, but he can't defend. Yeah, he's a good player to pass, you know, out from defence and good long balls and all that. He's still moaning, but I don't really understand what he's moaning about there. And now it's a bit of a coming together.
Yeah, well, what's happened here is that the referee stood in the middle of the penalty area, And a number of Arsenal players still trying to argue with him. Then a City player's come across to try and put the ball down for the penalty spot, and it's almost like a domino effect. Everyone's just sort of started to lead in towards the referee. He's got to get a bit of order here, Stuart Atwell. Riyad Mahrez looks to be the man who's put the ball down to take the penalty. There is a booking here for Xhaka as well.
Well, I mean, all those bodies in the box for Arsenal, what did they hope to achieve by that surrounding the referee? I think that's shameless as well. You know, it's gone to VAR. Why are you bothering Stuart Atwell? Because he didn't even give it. You know, he's been brought over by VAR, and obviously he's changed his mind. What do the players think they can do after that to convince him?
Well, it's almost force of habit, isn't it? That they're
but
always
it's gone.
I absolutely agree. But and now, in fact, Stuart Atwell's called over the two captains, Ruben Diaz and Alexandre Lacazette, just to have a quick word with them, and we can see Xhaka. I mean, it's, as I say, it's not physically enough to bring Bernardo down, but it's terrible defending from Xhaka because he's not trying to get the ball; he's only trying to stop the man. And if you do that in the box, you're asking for trouble. And now a great chance here for Manchester City, who've not been at the races in terms of their attacks this afternoon. But on 56 minutes, it's Riyad Mahrez against Aaron Ramsdale. Referee's finally got a bit of order. Everyone is outside the penalty area now. And Mahrez can step up to try and level up the game here for Manchester City. It's just a short three-step run up from Mahrez, but he sends it right. The goalkeeper dives left, and Manchester City are level.
Yeah, it's a cracking penalty there. Real power, right into the corner of the net. Again, just go back to we give a big build-up to Bernardo, didn't we, going into the game? He's a complete player for me. But when he's taking you on in the box, you better be careful because he's got skill. When he dribbles there, he just cuts that severely on Granit Xhaka, who's just lumping, sticks out a left leg. Right, well, that's enough because you're going to fall down over that leg. So essentially, he's bringing you down. And then the next thing, he realises that and he's grabbed all of his shirt. It's like, I'm trying to keep him on his feet. Well, in two respects there, you've given a penalty away. Which one do you want? And I don't know how they got the bare face to argue about that. Anyway, City are back in the game just by virtue of a little bit of quality from Bernardo Silva, and it was a very good penalty as well.
Was a very good penalty. We just saw replays of the build-up to that penalty. Very unsportsmanlike behaviour there from Gabriel, Arsenal's centre-back, trying to scuff up the penalty spot. But with these carpet-like pitches these days, it's going to take more than a few tears with the studs to try and scuff up these penalty spots. And in the end, Mahrez put his laces through it, put a bit of power behind it, so it made no difference to him at all. Arsenal trying to respond in now, and there's a bit of a mistake. Whoa! It's going to be a goal. It's off the line, and the rebound is just wide. Goodness me, what chaos in the Manchester City defence. The ball was headed back to goalkeeper Ederson by Ruben Diaz, but he missed his keeper, heads it over his head. It was Laporte, in fact, I beg your pardon. He heads it over Ederson, and Nathan Ake with a real rescue job there on the line, stopping that one from going in. And an embarrassing moment there for Laporte and Ederson.
Yeah, also embarrassing for Martinelli. He gets on the ball after that. He needed to take a touch, settle himself, but he hits it first time and misses virtually an open goal. There's no goalkeeper in there, and now Jesus is down.
Oh,
what colour card?
It's a straight red. Well, we've not seen. Is this a second yellow for Xhaka? We were still getting replays of that Arsenal chance that was missed.
Gabriel.
And Gabriel has just picked up a red card. What has happened here? Off-tube pictures that we're getting, we only saw the red card being flashed. We haven't actually seen what led to the red card. But Gabriel is having to be held back from going at the referee here. What's happened is it's a long clearance. Oh, and Gabriel has just elbowed Jesus as he's turning, or as he hits him with the... Well, I take it back, actually. There's virtually no contact there. Is that a red card for you, John? I'm not so sure that it is. Right.
Gabriel's hands are in an unnatural position. He's got Jesus running past him at the halfway line, and it's a second yellow. I think it is a yellow card. He's no attempt to play the ball, and his hands are in a natural position, and he does catch Jesus in the face. He's not elbowed him in the face. It's not a great big clothesline, but he's just done enough there. It's a yellow card. He's trying to stop the man running past him. Atwell has not given those free kicks, has he, or yellow cards in the first half. Somebody runs past them, they've been chopped down, they haven't been yellow carded. But when you mess with somebody's face like that, however that came about, as a second yellow card, you can't argue with that.
No, you can't. And he got his first yellow for scuffing up the penalty spot. That's why we didn't actually see the referee giving him that first yellow card, but he got the first yellow just a few minutes ago for trying to scuff up the penalty spot before Mahrez's penalty, and now he gets a second yellow for running into Gabriel Jesus. I agree with you. It would have been far too harsh to give him a straight red for that, but if he's already on a yellow and the referee's already on the warpath for players being a little bit too doing a little bit too much in terms of arguing and everything that we saw after the penalty, it's not good play there from Gabriel Magalhaes, and Arsenal straight away trying to plug that gap in defence. We've just seen centre-back Rob Holding getting ready to come on for Arsenal. The bench in full, by the way, is Pepe, Maitland-Niles, Holding, Smith Rowe, El Neni, Cedric Suarez, Nuno Tavares, Lokonga and Leno. It's a very strong bench for Arsenal, it has to be said. Compared to Man City, we've actually got a couple of youth players on their bench this afternoon. As well as that, they've got Fernandinho, Grealish, Bete, Tabu, Makati, Kai K, Palmer, Gundogan, Walker and goalkeeper Stefan as well. So those are the two benches this afternoon. But no surprise that Holding's coming on there, Rob.
No, not at all. But I'd take Granit Xhaka off. I just think he's a liability. You've got Thomas Partey to play Holding. You know, I wonder who the sacrifice is going to be. And just before that, we saw Martinelli with that miss, didn't we? The ball broke to him inside the box, and that
was, of course, 11v11 as well when he missed that. So it's fine margins. But here comes City on the attack now. This is where Arsenal really have to be careful. They've got to try and get those emotions in check, because City are going to smell blood here now that they can try and go for all 3 points. Well, and Guardiola's making a change.
We're going to see Gundogan come on. But don't you think just before that, Xhaka and all that, rather than just holding his hand up and saying, yeah, all right, fair dues, it's got everybody incensed. And so Gabriel's still got that adrenaline running through his body when he makes that stupid challenge, on Jesus. Anyway, we're going to see that change. It'll be interesting to see who the sacrifice is.
It is, absolutely. Well, if Lacazette's coming across, he's the captain, of course. He won't be going off. He's just getting some final instructions there from Albert Stuyvenberg. But first of all, we're going to see a change for both sides. And it's an interesting change for Man City. It's going to be Gabriel Jesus to go off to be replaced by Ilkay Gundogan.
Don't understand it.
It's going to mean a bit of a rejig. I would imagine that Gundogan's going to go into the midfield three, and Bernardo is going to join, or Kevin De Bruyne, in fact, could join the attacking three. Martin Odegaard is the one getting the hook for Arsenal, and I was to say, I'm a bit surprised by that. Xhaka, I think, probably would have been the preferred option, of course, with his yellow card, but it is going to be Odegaard to go off.
I guess if they were chasing the game, then maybe it'd be Xhaka. It's one apiece, isn't it? And maybe they still feel that they could hold out and get a point out of it. Xhaka's lucky to still be out there, in my opinion.
Well, we'll see if he stays out there until the end of the game, of course, because there's still just under half an hour to go. 62 minutes, nearly 63 minutes gone. And Alexander, we're going to get more of this now. Arsenal have won a free kick just inside the City half. It's just a standard textbook free kick. But the Arsenal players immediately surrounding the referee, demanding yellow cards. And I just wonder if this is going to be a booking for one of the Arsenal players for asking too much.
Stuart Atwell has made a rod for his own back. First half he was lenient, wasn't he? Anybody could do anything to anybody. That's a free kick, no more, no less. It shouldn't have been a yellow card unless he's totting it up. I think Saka gets a yellow card for having a moan and asking for a card. I don't have a problem with that. But Atwell, too lenient first half. And made a rod for his own back. It seems like any challenge you can put in any challenge, and he's not going to bother. But anyway, free kick for Arsenal, but it's overhit that.
It is, and Saka's still probably reliving that yellow card, still furious about everything. And so now it's been the free kick's been wasted there by Bukayo Saka. Sends it long and out for a goal kick. And Arsenal have just got to get their heads here. They're still in a position to get a valuable point here against the league leaders. But with so much time to play now with 10 men, and clearly the emotions running very high for the home side. Arsenal since September last year, Arsenal have had 7 red cards, as have had Brighton. They're joint first in that, and then 4 teams have had 5 red cards each. So the Gunners, who under Arsene Wenger had real discipline problems. I seem to remember that they broke the record for yellow cards one year, and certainly Patrick Vieira did. Seems that that's creeping back into their game. But it's Arsenal now just messing around with it at the edge of their own box, holding with a little bit of a loose ball there, which finally does get back towards goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale. But Arsenal really do, if you could have a timeout in football, this is where Arsenal would have one.
You see, personally, I think it is emotional. They're giving their all, and players will get incensed and angry over the course of 90 minutes. Injustices, that will happen, but it always happens. It's nothing new. They have to deal with it slightly differently, and they have to use any injustice as fuel, or energy into the battery. But if they're just sulking and we didn't get this and we didn't get that, and if the referee thinks that anything is possible, and they start chucking themselves about and fouling, then they are going to pick up red cards. But I think it's more about the mentality and the club should look at that.
Well, the club need to get back and defend here now, because City are breaking down the left-hand side. Although Raheem Sterling's effort, he was losing his balance, and he sends a right-footed curling effort from the left-hand side, which goes wide and over the bar in the end. But look at the space here, John, as City start with De Bruyne on the halfway line. Arsenal nowhere to be seen as City break forward.
No, it's right. And now Arsenal, from playing really well throughout the course of the game, are now all over the shop, aren't they? I think emotionally and mentally now they seem to be broken. It's like young kids and all that, but some of the older heads are the ones that are stoking the fire. Xhaka for the penalty, I thought it was really poor play from him. Then obviously Gabriel, what he did was unforgivable, because they were still very much in the game. They still are to a degree, but they're one man like now, aren't they? And it's against Man City.
Absolutely. And also going back to the Gabriel 2 yellows, when you think of what he got them for, he scuffed up a penalty spot which made no difference because Mahrez still scored from the penalty, and then he stopped Gabriel Jesus on the halfway line. It wasn't even stopping a particularly dangerous attack. So 2 absolutely pointless yellow cards, which have obviously completely hurt his team now, but he didn't even achieve anything with them on the field anyway. So it was really poor in-game management there from the young Brazilian.
Oh yeah, having got the first, then you've got to be foot perfect. Like you said, it was bang on the halfway line when he made that foul. His colleagues could have covered for him. Maybe they'd have got a goal off that, you don't know, but it's unlikely.
Well, we could see the Arsenal fans now are getting dragged into this emotional situation, because there was a very sort of plain coming together there. No issue with a free kick, but all the fans behind the pitch there on that side immediately on their feet asking for a free kick. It's gone out for a throw to Arsenal down the left hand, down the Arsenal's right, I should say. Emile Smith-Rowe is now getting ready to come on.
The fans love getting emotional. You're into the game, aren't you? You're fully wound up. You don't lose anything by screaming and shouting and getting it wrong. The Arsenal team have to feed off that, but there's ways and means of going about it. Like I said, it should be fueling the batteries, but it shouldn't result then in more yellow cards and 2 or 3 sent off.
No, that's right. But Kieran Tierney's come over from the left-hand side over to the right touchline here. He's dried the ball, so we're going to get a long throw here from the Scotland international. All the big men are up for Arsenal here inside the penalty area, and it's a long throw from Tierney, edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Rodrigo. Sterling then plays it out towards De Bruyne, who's got 3 Arsenal players around him. One of them is Rob Holding. Rob Holding brings him down, and the cards, well, Christmas has been and gone, but Stuart Attwell's starting to give them out now, John.
Welcome to the game, Rob Holding, but he's immediately on a yellow card. It's a yellow card that he wasn't giving in the first half. We saw multiple times that somebody ran past somebody, got chopped down. All of a sudden he's decided, I've had enough. But that's not the way. He's setting his bat and ball home, Stuart Attwell, but that's not the way you referee either.
No, he's as I say, you made the point, John, because of his leniency in the first half, he's now given himself a real problem in the second. Manchester City in possession down the left-hand side. Sterling, though, back to Nathan Ake. And Gundogan all the way back now to Laporte and Ruben Diaz on the halfway line. Nearly 69 minutes gone. It is Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1. Arsenal are down to 10 men, and it's John to take us through to full-time.
So here is Riyad Mahrez, some wonderful control by him, the Algerian, bringing it down beautifully. Gets it back off Cancelo, finds De Bruyne. And Man City now will just be looking to work their way through an extra man. They've got Gabriel sent off. Just before that, we felt that Arsenal had a great opportunity to make it 2-1. Ball cleared off the line brilliantly by the athletic Nathan Ake, after what was going to be a sensational headed on goal by Aymeric Laporte. And then the ball broke back, didn't it, to Martinelli, who fired it over when the goalkeeper wasn't set. There was nobody home. Only Nathan Ake probably in the goal mouth at the time, and Martinelli needed to bring that ball under control. and take his shot, but he didn't. He just blazed at it and missed the target. And straight from there, long ball forward, Gabriel with a stupid challenge on Jesus. Second yellow card, and now they're under the caution. Here is Mahrez again on the right hand side, cuts it back onto his left for Cancelo. He's very narrow again. He breaks the byline, puts the ball to the far post. There's nobody there. He'll break back for Raheem Sterling, but City all over Arsenal like a cheap suit right now with that extra man. And here they go again. Diaz comes to join the line. Mahrez again drags the ball across the face. Bernardo has already won a penalty, gets that ball out with his feet, tickles it away. Mahrez picks it up. There's a siege now. The blue shirts, but then wasted opportunity. Shot from Laporte sails over the top.
Over the top in the end, but Arsenal now making their second change with Emile Smith-Rowe coming on for captain Alexandre Lacazette. So it's a case that perhaps Mikel Arteta and his coaches have come to the conclusion that with this sort of games, with the situation we've got in the game now, 19 minutes to play, it's perhaps better to have another midfielder on the field than have an out-and-out striker who probably won't get much of the ball anyway.
No, that's right. Again, it's signals that they want to try and hang on to the point, doesn't it? But again, he's a good youngster, good engine on him, Smith-Rowe. He can score a goal too. So he's a good player to bring on, and fresh legs and all that. Very young up top, aren't they, today, with Martinelli, Smith-Rowe now, and Saka. Anyway, long ball forward to Saka, comes off his shoulder, but it's City immediately win the ball back. And it's going to be one-way traffic, you feel, the second half of this second half, as Raheem Sterling's on the ball, runs away from Partey, who's desperate to tag him. He runs into Ben White, who puts a good challenge in. And City have to start again, a little bit deeper. There's again looking for Gundogan, and then the ball breaks out to the left-hand side. Bernardo Silva, good-looking ball into the middle, just about dealt with there. I think that was Granit Xhaka coming in to help his teammates out. Did really well there under massive pressure. Ball keeps coming back though, Paul, and I can't imagine that Arsenal are going to get away with this without losing.
Well, if it carries on like this, it's going to be very, very difficult. As Mahrez takes on Tierney, does he keep it in play? No, he doesn't. The ball does go out for a goal kick in the end. But just by sheer weight of numbers, and whereas in the first half City had a lot of possession but no end product, now of course they've got an equaliser, they've got a man up, and they can see that Arsenal are on the ropes. That's something that Guardiola's side have always been very good at. They very rarely let teams back in once they're in a position of dominance, and we can see it's a very large travelling contingent from Manchester today. It's filling up that side of the Emirates there. A couple of the City fans now frustrated as to how long it's taking Ramsdale to take this goal kick. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. With 73 minutes on the clock, it's still a long time for Arsenal to hold out with this draw.
I've been thinking about bringing Grealish on now. I think, when you're trying to break somebody down at the edge of the area, he's superb for winning free kicks and little given goals.
He hasn't been superb for Manchester City yet. I thought of all the players that tried to get forward and sort of didn't have much end product in the game against Brentford, I thought that Grealish stood out as being a little bit anonymous in that game, which is disappointing when you consider just how much possession City had. It was 80% at one stage in that game the other night. But he certainly needs to start making his mark at the Etihad, and this could be the sort of a cameo appearance off the bench that would help him do that. Yeah,
it would be. But somehow they need to find a way. We see a shot from range, but it's blocked away by Smith-Rowe. Cancelo's opportunity as De Bruyne picks it up. Kevin De Bruyne has been fairly quiet today. Again, out of the City players, I think Bernardo's been the best, and he scurries forward. He should have got that ball, but De Bruyne just dwelt on that. Here is Bernardo, again, a ball on a string just to the edge of the box, tries to get shot away. That's blocked by Xhaka. Breaks back to Bernardo, and he flicks the ball into the goal mouth, and it's an easy save really for Ramsdale. Bernardo Silva, I think he's been good today. He won the penalty, he's kept going, he's played box to box, and now he's playing further up the field. It seems like he can do anything.
Yeah, well, this is why Bernardo Silva is such an important player for Manchester City. It's the fact that he can be a holding midfielder in that three. He can be an attacking midfielder in the three further up the field. He's got ability to cross, the ability to score, and be in the right place at the right time, as in for the penalty. So he absolutely fits that remit of a Guardiola player. And if anything, when you remember when Bruno Fernandes first arrived at Manchester United, it seemed like United were almost half a team without him. He's just gone into his shell a little bit, whereas Bernardo has stayed consistent for Man City.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, maybe a time to look at the respective benches, and obviously one or two forced changes, but Walker, Grealish, Stefan Fernandinho, Chagas and Bete, Palmer and McAtee. A fairly young bench, isn't it, for City? So I don't think too many options there. Grealish, the outstanding one. Two subs already used for the Gunners, who just working their way out from the back with Thomas Partey. Well, it's Leno, the goalkeeper, then Maitland-Niles, Cedric, Pepe, Tavares, Sambi, Lokonga and El Neni. As we see a shot come in from, I think that's Saka at the edge of the area.
Yeah, it was a decent run from Saka down the right-hand side. And he just got stopped at the edge of the area. City were guilty of playing a little bit too high up the field. I don't think anything would have come of it had he scored, because he looked like he was offside when the ball was played. It might have just been one of those where the offside flag didn't come because City got the ball back anyway. But looking at that Arsenal bench, John, I'm thinking that El Neni perhaps, just to bolster that central midfield, or potentially Cedric with his experience, might be another option as well.
Yeah, I think El Neni would be the one for me. I'd probably take Martinelli off, who... Again,
Xhaka with his yellow card still could be a liability.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. But Xhaka's actually done quite well, hasn't he, since then, weirdly enough. I think Martinelli, who's not offering much now. Anyway, City on the ball in Arsenal territory with Riyad Mahrez now. Right-hand side, little step over from him. He doesn't get rid of Tierney with that. But the ball goes backwards now for Laporte, who moses forward. Finds Raheem Sterling on the left-hand side. He cuts around the Japanese international, Tomiyasu. Ball breaks into the middle, and now it's with Cancelo out the right. And he looks for Riyad Mahrez. The Algerian eventually leaned onto, but Xhaka did that pretty well. Took the ball away from him. It's a good pass from Xhaka now. Partey on his bike over the halfway line and showing Rodri a clean pair of heels. He keeps on going. Into the box he goes now. Thomas Partey. The cross comes in. Oh, and it's a terrible little back pass there, and it nearly gave a chance to Martinelli. Wow-wee, that was close.
That was close, and what it almost compounded that whole Arsenal counter-attack was just as the counter-attack was starting. We got a stat flashed up on screen that the possession for the last 5 minutes has been 92% Man City, 8% Arsenal, despite that the Gunners very nearly going 2-1 up there.
Yeah, they've played well, haven't they, on the counter-attack today. You can't take that away from them. They were the better team the first half, but here comes Tierney now, and they clearly haven't given up. Bernardo has to chase back with him, and all this is just eating away at the clock. 78 minutes gone, 12 minutes left. Can they get a point from this Schmozzle? Second half has not gone their way, but Tierney puts a cross in. That's easily blocked away by Ruben Diaz, and then tidied up. Yeah, Cancelo now playing out from the back, finds Ake, who played his part today. I think he's done all right. And saved a goal off the line. Laporte's header was going to be quite a cracking own goal, but in the end Ake did enough. Both teams at times have played pretty well today, and for those neutrals watching it, I think it's been a really good watch today. High drama tariff, plenty going on. Maybe for City not quite enough shots on target.
Certainly no danger of these two teams taking their New Year celebrations a little bit too far last night. It looks like they all got an early night, and it has been a very entertaining game here early on New Year's Day. And what makes it fascinating is we've got 11 minutes to play, and we still potentially could have a surprise winner here for Arsenal. City may go on to win the game, or we could end up having a hard-fought draw. Yeah,
it's right. It's certainly not a stodgy festive game, isn't it? A lot this time of year can end up being poor fare, but this one's a good game, and I've enjoyed it so far. I don't think I've had any duff games over the festive period, as we see a shot from Cancelo, left-footed,
Well, in fairness, John, I think all of us have lost about half our games over Christmas anyway, so the strike rate, but for that reason alone, is going to be a little bit higher in the hope of getting some better games on. But I suppose it means that come January, February, we're going to have to, of course, have some more midweek rounds of games to make up for all these fixtures.
Yeah, it swings and rounds, isn't it? We'll get him back, don't you worry. Anyway, looking at Mahrez's penalty, just a nice strike into the back of the net. Keeper going the wrong way there. Ramsdale's not had much to do, has he?
No, he hasn't. Since that goal, his defenders have had plenty of work. His midfielders have had plenty of work in trying to stifle Man City, but not really been too many clear-cut chances.
I mean, looking at City today, I think they've been slightly under par, but they could end up with 3 points. And I thought at one point this season that Chelsea were the most impressive team I'd seen. That's when they had Chilwell and Reece James, the two wing-backs, coming sort of inside and both of them scoring goals and affecting play. But then Chilwell got injured and then Luis Lukaku unhappy, and then all of a sudden, after a few duff results, Chelsea don't quite look it, do they? And I guess you'd have to say that City are the favourites to go on and land the title this season. I
think so. I think Liverpool have shown a few chinks in their armour. Chelsea at one stage looked unstoppable, but now they've slowed right down. There seems to be a bit of discord with Lukaku, who, just for my 2 cents worth, I think he's got ideas above his station, thinking that after he left Inter, it was either going to be Barca, PSG, or Real Madrid that were going to sign him. He's an excellent striker, but I think he's probably one level below that sort of club, in my humble opinion. But that does certainly, from Chelsea's point of view, they need to have a bit of a recovery in the new year, as City just starting to pile on the pressure now here, John.
Yeah, Bernardo, crossfield ball for Joao Cancelo. And then he puts a good-looking ball into the box. That's well defended. I think that was Ben White chasing back. Xhaka tries to take it off Ake. A little step over from him. Gundogan at the edge of the area now. Rodri. And again, it's domination here from the citizens. Little in and out from Rodri. The ball might break. A shot from Diaz is a poor one. And now Smith Rowe straightens up. Looks for that long ball away to Martinelli. And he's held up there. And tussles with Laporte. That's a fight he's not going to win.
Well, no, and also that Laporte just seemed to almost swing out there, and Stuart Atwell trying to sort of manage that in game by just trying to calm down Laporte. We can see straight away that Albert Stuyvenberg was just having a bit of a word with the fourth official there, suggesting that maybe there should have been a card for that already. But in the meantime, it looks as though Sterling has handballed it as it comes across.
Yeah, they hit his chest and then he controlled it on his arm. Yeah, one of those things, isn't it? Martinelli's fighting away there. I didn't see there was too much wrong there. It is a bit of contact. Martinelli's just a fresh-faced kid, isn't he? But, if you're an attacker, you've got to put yourself about. Anyway, we're going to see changes now. We've mentioned El Neni, and he's the right man to come in. Again, he's had several lives at Arsenal, hasn't he? Managers have come in, not fancied him. He's gone away on loan. You've thought, well, that's the last of him. But yet here he is again, and for what it's worth, I think he's a good player.
He is a good player. I think if you were to sort of play football at top trumps, I think Partey probably shades him in terms of his sort of defensive midfield abilities and his strength. But certainly there's a place for El Neni in the Arsenal squad. Whether or not he'd be a starting 11 regular is a different matter. But I think that certainly he does have enough of the strength to be a defensive midfielder and enough of the quality as well. But here come Arsenal now down the right-hand side.
Yeah, they do. And it's with Xhaka, finds Smith Rowe. Gets it out of his feet, the ball with Xhaka. And then out to left for Tierney. Back to Granit Xhaka. The turning attack into defence are the Gunners. And then a ball laid back to Ramsdale. Under a little bit of pressure from De Bruyne. And he shanks that ball straight out. 7 minutes to go at the Emirates. We haven't seen El Neni come on. And who's he going to come on for? It looks like it's Bukayo Saka, who had a brilliant first half, didn't he? Took his goal really well. And has had slightly less influence, also picked up a yellow card.
Absolutely. So it makes sense really for Saka. It was a really good goal, but he's lost his head a little bit in this second half. And if you're thinking of having a sort of a attacking player go off for a defensive midfielder come on, then that's a pretty good swap as well. And that yellow card, of course, just swings it in favour of Saka going off. But El Neni now needs to come on and just needs to sort of put a bit more reassurance into that midfield.
Yeah, it's right. Can he, Partey and Xhaka put a clamp on? Well, at the moment they're attacking. Here is Smith Rowe. for the Gunners at the edge of the City area, but retreat. He goes backwards. A great ball forward. El Neni takes his eye off it, but it rolls through to Tierney. So they're on the attack, Arsenal now. Nobody in the box though when they look forward, and that's the problem, isn't it? And it means they end up rolling it backwards where there's more numbers, an easier pass. Partey takes it on, holds up Rodri, then chips a ball out to Tomiyasu, who flicks a too heavy a ball. Laporte goes back to Ederson, who gets it away to Gundogan, who immediately is on his bike, bombing up the field, Ake down the left-hand side, and he's not stopped in his progress. Raheem Sterling forced to go back now with De Bruyne looking for Sterling round the back, but that's headed away by Tomiyasu, breaks into the box. Gundogan crossfield ball for Cancelo, held up by El Neni, and the ball goes back to Diaz. 5 minutes of regulation play left, and there might be 4 or 5 minutes of added time at the end of the half, as the citizens really pressing Arsenal now, and they've got a man advantage. It is 1 apiece. It's been an interesting and an exciting game, really. Plenty of drama, plenty of daring do. We haven't seen City quite at their best today. Arsenal, I thought, were the better team in the first half, but you would argue that City have fought back well in this second period. Never an easy place to go, the Emirates, and they'd been in quite some form. It's now Cancelo on the right hand side. He stands up Tierney, gets across into the far post. Oh, and it's headed away by Ben White there. Breaks to Sterling into the box. He drags it, then crosses. That ball held away from the near post by Ramsdale.
Yep, held on by Ramsdale. No problems for him in the end. Sterling looking up for options. That ball deflects off Tomiyasu, but it doesn't have enough pace really to surprise the Arsenal keeper, who's always close to his near post. 4 minutes to go plus injury time. I just wonder if the game does finish in a draw. I mean, I don't think Guardiola could honestly say that his players pulled out all the stops to try and take advantage of a 10-man Arsenal team, or should we pay more credit to the fact that Arsenal have actually got their heads together and are actually a bit more organised now?
I think Arsenal played well today. There's no shortage of endeavour for a City. They played pretty well, but you're only allowed to play as well as the opposition allows you at times. They've defended pretty well. Individually they've been good, but it might not be enough. Here now is Riyad Mahrez, wriggles into the box. Can he get a shot away? I think that shot blocked, and in the end it's gone out for a corner. So plenty of work for Arsenal still to do. A rearguard action from them now. Yeah, well, with the time it took to have the penalty, we've had a red card and some substitutions, so I can expect 4, if not 5 minutes of injury time. There's still plenty of work. It was a short corner taken. Cancelo now floats it towards the back post, headed up in the air. But Ramsdale comes out and doesn't make the save initially, but he feels as though Ruben Diaz might have fouled him, and I think the referee agrees. Yeah, I wasn't sure it was a foul, but Ramsdale now will go down. The flag had gone up anyway, and he's probably playing the old soldier there, isn't he, trying to wind away a bit of the clock. As it was, Ake was probably offside with the first one, and I felt really that Ruben Diaz is only eyes on the ball. He didn't really know who the keeper is. Keeper made a bit of a mess of that for my money. I'm not sure he's the next big thing. Aaron Ramsdale, I've not been massively impressed with him today. I think, what would you do? Give him 5 or 6 out of 10? I think that with the obviously couldn't do too much with the goal. He has dropped a couple of crosses this afternoon, that's for sure. I think he has grown into this role, bearing in mind that his baptism in the Premier League was a relegation season with Bournemouth, and then he moved on to Sheffield United, who had their nightmare season, second season in the Premier League. So he's probably been looking for a club where he perhaps isn't tested 15, 20 times a game. But that just means that he's got to be perfect on those occasions when he is being tested. And as I say, I think there is still some potential in Aaron Ramsdale, whether or not certainly some of the calls, certainly from some Arsenal fans, that he's well on his way to being England's number one. That's probably a little bit premature. But certainly I think that given a few seasons of consistency in the Premier League, there's no reason he couldn't compete with someone like Jordan Pickford. Just saw Martinelli's miss again. I did Man United Burnley recently. And the ball breaks off the, I think it's tipped onto the bar or post or something, comes back to Ronaldo, and he hits it first time, and he's just set waiting for it, and this is how I'm going to score, and you just know it's going to go in. For Martinelli there, it was a similar case. You've got to expect that ball to come to you, and if it does, how are you going to hit it into the back of the net perfectly? There, he side foots, gets underneath it. It's not on target. You know, it hits the side netting in the end. He's just not at the right angle for it. I felt watching Ronaldo, it's like a masterclass there. How to get a cheap and easy goal. I'm going to wait, that ball is going to break back to me, and when it does, I'm going to be in the perfect shape, my balance completely over the ball, and able to steer it into the back of an empty net. And Martinelli just blazed it wide, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Just rushed it a little bit, tried to go for the sort of fast finish, but in the meantime, a good ball down the right-hand side, one for a Smith Rowe to chase. And the ball has been deflected out by Ake, and Arsenal, just as we hit injury time, have won themselves a corner.
Yeah, their fans are going balmy, aren't they? And will they have something to really cheer about with this corner kick? They've got to get bodies in there and chance their arm, don't they? They could nick it here, and it'd take the roof off the Emirates anyway. What's the delivery going to be like? I think Smith Rowe puts a decent-looking ball in, flicked away by De Bruyne, who's then is trying to run it out. Ben White gets there first, puts the ball into the stand more or less. 6 minutes of added time, Paul. There's still plenty of time for...
Oh, there is, yeah. We thought it'd be somewhere between 4 and 5. As I say, we have had substitutions. Referees had to take order. We've had a long, drawn-out VAR decision for the penalty, a red card, and we've just had that injury to Ramsdale as well. So it doesn't really surprise we've got that much time. But it's Arsenal now on the attack.
It is, but Thomas Partey's ball into the box leaves a lot to be desired. And they got emboldened, their fans got excited, but now they've got to defend, because here comes City again with De Bruyne. Finds Mahrez. He's held up by Tierney, looking for a little bit of movement. The movement's not been great for City today. One or two bodies just stood stock still as they're, you'd have thought they'd be busting their gut looking for a winner with their man advantage, but here it's all a bit leisurely, really. Anyway, Mahrez back on the ball, looking for those bits and pieces of movement. They're pretty static, aren't they? And I think, the fixture congestion this time of year, it looks like it's taken its toll a little bit on Man City today, who have been a little bit stilted, but they've still got a chance here. Cancelo now cuts inside the challenge of Tierney. Tierney, you judged to have tagged him there. It was touch and go, that. I thought that Cancelo was playing for that.
Yeah, I think he probably was hoping that there'd be contact there from Tierney, but then Tierney could have avoided clipping Cancelo there. He could have just had a bit of body contact with him, but he actually tripped him with the right foot. The point you make about City looking a bit tired, I think it's a very valid point, because City's last game was away in London as well. On the 29th, they played away at Brentford. They would have driven back to Manchester late night, 29th into 30th, and then by the afternoon of the 31st, they're back in London to stay over for the game on the Saturday. So it has been a long week for City, but they got this free kick now on the right-hand side with De Bruyne. Yeah,
runs it to the edge of the area. Shot comes in, I think, from Ruben Diaz. Well worked, but the execution of the strike wasn't great, and the defending was pretty good. I think all in all, it'd be difficult to say that Arsenal don't deserve the point that they may get from this game. But City haven't given up. They've got a man advantage. Guardiola pointing his finger forward. That's where he wants them. The ball into the box, an opportunity here, and it's smashed into the back of the net by Rodri. Looks like they've done it. The ball, well, it was a bit of a melee there, pinging around, but there was Rodri.
Oh, he's stupid there, Rodrigo. I don't like that. He's run over not just to celebrate in the corner of the pitch, but he's pretty much got in the face of the Arsenal fans in that front row. And frankly, the fact that there's now a barrage of plastic bottles and cups, etc., being thrown at him, I don't even feel sorry for him. Sergi Canos did the same at Ellen Road a few weeks ago, and he got a can or something to the back of his head for his trouble. There's nothing wrong with celebrating a goal away from home, but don't do it literally in the face of the home fans. That's a bit too much. Now, is there going to be egg on Rodrigo's face if it turns out that he's offside? Oh, I don't think he is, John. I think he's going to be all right there.
Yeah, I just think that Rob Holding's playing him on, the two 16s together there. It was a great ball into the box, and eventually the ball just breaks kindly to him. It's very unlucky for Arsenal, that, isn't it? When that shot just comes in, but there you go. That's what happens when you have that player extra, and You know, when they go in the dressing room, I think they'll have to look long and hard at
Gabriel.
But
it's another one of those things as well, that teams fighting for relegation never score goals like this. It's always teams hunting for the title. It's just, as you say, the sheer weight of numbers, the fact that there is that attacking intent. But then Rodrigo taking off his shirt and literally pumping his fist at Arsenal fans who were, inches away from him. That's stupid from Rodrigo, and I hope he gets some sort of, as I say, there's been a whole barrage of things thrown at him now, and I think, frankly, he deserves it. It's stupid from the City man.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I'd be thinking about giving him a ban for that. It's inflammatory, isn't it? You know, we know that football can be tribal and all that. They said the fans can get as excited as they want. But what Rodri did there was unforgivable, really. And
as I say, if he'd have done something like that, for example, at Ellen Road, I think he probably would have got even more, just remembering what happened to Canos a few weeks ago. But this could all be a fallout, though, John, from the fact that the referee's just been a little bit too lenient in the first half and then tried to get order in the second half.
Bernardo Silva gets his 5th booking of the season, and there's all sorts going on now. I felt that Stuart Atwell, it's like he didn't want to referee the first half. You know... But when somebody runs past somebody and gets chopped down, for me it's always a yellow card. You set the tone as a referee like that. Here, the ball into the box, maybe a chance for Arsenal now, but it's not being cleared away, and then he wins the next ball. There is Bernardo Silva again, who's able to clear his lines. But yeah, you lose the game, I think, as a referee. You stamp your authority on it dead early. This is how it's going to be. I'm not going to let things go. I'm not that kind of referee. Okay, we'll behave ourselves then, and then it's up to the players. But if you let them get away with murder the first half, don't expect murder not to occur in the second half.
No, it's absolutely true. And as I say, we never get to hear the referees' ratings. Every referee does get a rating after a match. I don't think Stuart Atwell's going to be troubling the high-end scores with this one. I think he has made a few mistakes, not managed the game well. It's all part of something that Mark Clattenburg said when he sort of retired from Premier League refereeing, that it's not just a case of getting the decisions right, it's a case of managing the atmosphere on the pitch, judging which direction the players are going in terms of their aggression and everything else. And I think that's something that Stuart Atwell hasn't done very well today.
I think the problem is they're going premeditated. We don't want to be harsh anymore. We want to let the game flow. That's great. But if the game dictates, people are chopping each other down, then you have to give the appropriate cards. Thomas Partey made man of the match. Don't know how that's worked out. He's played all right, but I think I'd give it Bernardo Silva on the winning team. Anyway, a long ball for Arsenal. Last knock into the game this year, feel, with City 2-1 up. The clock has rolled over the 6-minute mark. Here is Granit Xhaka, turns at the edge of the area. One last roll of the dice for Arsenal. Tierney now puts the cut back in there, but Gundogan is there, smashes the ball away to the halfway line. Thomas Partey will hold up Riyad Mahrez, and he does pretty well. Partey runs away, has the ball. White now with a long raking ball. Arsenal looking for it, but now they're a bit exposed at the back. Here comes Raheem Sterling. They've got 3 against 1. Surely a goal here for Riyad Mahrez. He's bearing down on goal. An opportunity. He cuts at the wrong time. Ben White really defended that well. It's still just 2-1. He should have put the game to bed, but he didn't. And the referee allowing more time as we hit 97 minutes now. He's played a minute extra, but eventually he's put the whistle to his lips. The final scoreline at the Emirates Stadium was Arsenal 1, Manchester City 2.